No, 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 no.
Hey guys, how's it going? You can call me Ink, or just Brandon. We're all friends here. Amazon's new MMO New World has finally been released. I have been so excited for this game ever since I first heard about it a couple years ago, and even more so after trying the beta. So, now that I finally gotten to play the real game, I just wanted to capture my thoughts and feelings of playing on launch day in video form. I meant to record this video a while ago, but it kinda kept getting away from me. However, I did write down all my thoughts at the time, so this video still comes to you from the me that did all this a couple weeks ago. Anyway, here we go. New World was set to launch at different times for every region, starting with the EU at 1 AM my time, and I was right there ready to make a character as quickly as possible. I, like most people, tend to use some kind of gamer tag when I play online games, but this go around I had the bright idea to just name my character Brandon. I thought this was hilarious, so I was ready to get in as early as I could to reserve my name, since real life names tend to get taken pretty quickly. Unfortunately, I was not fast enough, but it's all okay because I can still say that my name is literally just Brandon. After that, I went to bed so I could be up early enough to log into the NA servers at 7 AM. I didn't get much sleep and I had to get to work shortly after, but I knew that I needed to get in and reserve my spot as early as possible, and it did end up being worth it. So after sitting in a short queue, I washed up on a familiar beach and proceeded to play the same tutorial as in the beta. And I do mean the exact same tutorial. Even though the game has multiple starting areas, I ended up starting in the same exact spot as both of the characters I made for the beta. It was definitely a little disappointing, but quickly overshadowed by a huge quality of life update. In my videos about the New World beta test, I talked about how disappointing it was that different weapons were so rare to come by naturally. I didn't get the weapon type I actually wanted to use until like level 9. Well, this go around, I had one of almost every weapon by the time I got to the first major city. I really hope that was intentional because it makes for a much better starting experience in my opinion. Anyway, I got to that first city, Monarch's Bluff, pretty quickly and ended up running into a few familiar faces.
Alright, let me explain myself.
Is your hat a JoJo reference?
So you know how these days every YouTuber has their own Discord server? Well, I'm in the Fruit Nation server, the one created by the one and only Mr. Fruit.
Hi everyone, my name's Mr. Fruit and welcome to New World.
The reason I had wanted to get into the game so early was to secure my spot in our in-game company, House Fruit, and I suspected that our world's queue times would get pretty high later on in the day. Like I said, I wasn't able to play for very long in the morning because I had to get up and go to work, but when I got back home, I realized that my hunch was very correct. Turns out, Dr. Lupo, Mtashed, and Courage are all in this world too, so naturally, this turned into this. Some of my personal friends had started characters on another world and were also playing the waiting game with me here, but then we learned about New World adding in a bunch of new game worlds to play on and them giving everyone a free character transfer pretty soon. So we just made new characters in the meantime. Once we were able to get in and actually play together, we all had a fantastic time, as you can see here. Together, we did a reasonable amount of the main story, but we spent the majority of our time with PvP turned on doing the Covenant and Town quests, as well as just trying to fight literally everyone we ran into. So far, this game has been exactly what I hoped for after I got a taste of the beta. The combat feels really good, you have a good amount of options to choose from between weapons and build trees, and being able to respec at any time gives you plenty of opportunity to just try it all out and see what works for you. I had no idea what kind of build I wanted to do, so in the beginning, I was just switching around all my stats and perks like crazy so I could try out everything that came to mind. And then outside of combat, you get to my favorite part, robust crafting and gathering systems. I sang their praises in the beta and I'll do it again here. New World has some of the best crafting and especially gathering of any MMO I've played since RuneScape. The crafting does look pretty similar to other MMOs at this point, with players leveling up each skill individually and unlocking new tiers of craftables, but with some quality of life improvements and a tax system that is actually pretty immersive in this setting. You have to pay a small tax every time you refine materials or craft gear, and that tax actually goes to the company that controls the city you're in. This stresses the importance of doing your crafting in a city that's going to benefit one of the companies in your faction, and it pushes companies to fight for control of the most popular cities so they can get that tax. Of course, to be able to craft, you have to gather the materials first, and it's the gathering that really steals the show for me. There are dozens, maybe hundreds of unique gatherable materials that are just scattered throughout the world, from trees to fish to animals to skin, and they are everywhere. You can't take a step outside of town without running into something you could potentially pick up and craft with. The rare materials seem to be pretty plentiful too, if you know where to look. The game just does a great job of making something fun out of, essentially, in-game chores. There's nothing more relaxing than putting on a video, some music, or a podcast, and just chopping down trees for a couple hours. So that's basically what I have to say about my first day in New World. I didn't actually get to play much because I had to work, but when the queues got me down, they went in and added new game worlds to play on, which was super awesome. Now I've got 2 great characters to try out different builds with that I can switch between depending on who I'm playing with. I might do another video sometime talking about my experiences since then, but for anyone wondering right now, at this point both of my characters are in the mid to high 20s, but even though they're both within the same content range, I've been able to play both of them differently and do different things, so it's been a blast the whole time. I'm really looking forward to unlocking more of the mid-game content and eventually the end-game stuff, but the journey to get there has been pretty amazing too, which I really can't say about every MMO I've played. All of my friends playing have agreed that we really enjoy the game so far and foresee ourselves playing for a pretty long time. So all in all, things are looking pretty good right now for us and for House Fruit. And who knows, if I end up playing for long enough, maybe I'll even get to group up with the big man himself.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Please do me a favor and leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to let me know if you want more New World content, and tell me your thoughts on the game in the comments below. I'd love to hear if you've been playing and how you're feeling about it. With all that said, thank you so much for watching, have a fantastic day, I'll talk to you in the next one, farewell.